So the story of Ruth is about a woman who lost absolutely everything. It's about hope. It's about when everything goes wrong, good things can still come out of it. It's a story really for all of us. It's to know that all of us experience pain at some time, but then God intervenes. But I challenge you that the story of Ruth is so much more than you think it is. As I said in the very beginning, the whole Bible, including the New Testament, can be captured in the story of Ruth. The story of Ruth, if we go back to the very beginning, starts in Bethlehem with the tribe of Judah. It's no coincidence that Jesus Christ is born in Bethlehem of the tribe of Judah. And the story picks up as these three women. They've lost absolutely everything. They lost all hopes, all dreams, all their future that they had planned, all gone. But God became their hope. God became their dream. As these women got up and they started on the road back to Jerusalem, one of these women wasn't fully in it. She wasn't fully committed to Naomi. She wasn't going to stick it out with her. And she returned to her gods. Just as God had pulled the Israelites out of Egypt, so many of their hearts were still there. This is who Orpah is. Orpah, those half-hearted people who want to follow God, but their heart's not really in it. But Ruth was committed. Ruth is supposed to be us. We should emulate Ruth. When everything is gone to hell and everything's over and we have absolute devastation and there's nothing left in us, I'm going to go to Bethlehem and I'm going to look and find what's there. And that God will be my God and his people will be my people. And so she gets back, and the owner of the field, who throughout the New Testament is Christ Jesus, he's the owner of the field. And the reapers were the angels, but we're supposed to be working in the field. This is what Ruth represents. She goes to work in the field. Jesus gave you parable after parable of people working in his field. But it's his field. He's the rich man. He's Boaz. And so Ruth, us, broken and vulnerable, go to work in the field. And he summons us to him, as Boaz called Ruth over. And we throw ourselves at his feet when we hear the kindness of his words. I will forgive you. I love you. And we throw ourselves at the feet of Jesus Christ, knowing, how can he forgive so much? How can he be so loving? How can he be so compassionate? Because I'm not one of your people, am I? That's Ruth throwing herself at the feet of Boaz. It's important to notice that Ruth never had any kids with her first husband. The first husband represented the old world and how God separated her from that. There was no fruit. Her tree, it bore no fruit with her marriage to the world and her first husband. But this Boaz came in and her humility overtook him. She submitted to him. She gave herself to him, knowing she had nothing. And he took her. Jesus said, I will turn no man away. None. She came to him. They end up getting married, and they give birth to a son named Obed. But it's in the marriage itself where he takes all the men of the town and says, Who can take Ruth from my hands? Is there anybody? And there's nobody. It represents Christ Jesus lining up all of heaven, declaring your name, saying, who can take her out of my hands? Who is there that can stop me from marrying her? Is there anyone that will prevent me from marrying this woman? Sin's his name. And if he's not there, there's no one to prevent the marriage. They give birth to a son named Obed, who later gives birth to a son named Jesse, who later gives birth to a son named King David, who slayed Goliath, who was one of the great heroes of the Old Testament. Throughout the Old Testament, David sings love songs unto Jesus. Though Jesus would come from him, the story of Boaz is the story of Jesus Christ and how he loves you and how he loves all men. But the story really is about God judging his own people. How Orpah and Ruth both started on that road, that narrow road that led to Bethlehem, where Christ Jesus was. He's right there. All you have to do is go. Be of strong courage. We're told throughout the whole Bible, be of good courage. Don't be afraid. Fear not. But fear overtook Orpah. So she never really made it to where Boaz was, Christ Jesus. She never really got there. These are those half-hearted Christians who aren't filled with God's love. These are those that are the Christian in name only, who love to be recognized for stuff. They don't have the humility of Ruth, the kindness of Ruth. They're willing to throw themselves down. Boaz's name means, in him is strength. Ruth's name means friend. And Obed's name means worshiper and servant. So to stand back, Boaz, Jesus Christ, in him is strength. Ruth, us, the friend of God, as our father Abraham was called the friend of God. And the fruit that we bear with our union with Jesus is Obed, worship, servant. That's what the story of Ruth is all about. So I asked God, what's the easiest way to look at the story of Ruth? And he told me, and it's very clear. There's a church. And in this church, you're standing there. It's you. And you're dressed in white. And you look down and you see yourself dressed in white. And you look at the pews on the left and the right, and it's everyone who's ever lived. All the hosts of heaven are there. And you look straight ahead, and Jesus is standing at the altar, and he's waiting for you. And to his side is the white, burning, hot firelight of God. And you're there. You've never looked so good. You're beautiful. You've been washed of all sin. There's nothing standing in between you and the marriage to the Lamb except a very short walk. It's your life. Whatever you do, don't look down. Keep looking ahead, because he's looking at you. He's been waiting at the altar for you for 6,000 years. Because you're worth the wait. He's been patient. He's been kind. Throughout the last 6,000 years, he's professed his love for you in his work of art called the Bible. It's all about you. The story of Ruth is Jesus Christ saying that I love you. There's a marriage to come at the end of this. I know that you're broken, and I know that you're hurt. If you'll just come to me, please work in my field. You'll never want for anything. And I will marry you, and there's no one that can take you out of my hands. The story of Ruth is about you. It's about me. It's about those very few who will hold on and fight to the bitter end. It's about the elect ones. Chosen of God, hated in this world, but loved by him. Feeling rebuked and ugly and thrown out and feeling like nothing. That's what the story's about. It's you. You're the chosen one. You're the one he's going to gather to himself in the end. You're the one he's going to pay with all the barley. Your reward is waiting. The story of Ruth is about you.